everybody, CT Hippo. As you can tell from the intro, I was out on the wreck of the Lake Whatcom tug again today, and took the underwater camera this time, and despite it being pretty rough out there, actually got some good footage, and I was able to see what the camera was seeing, which allowed me to work it, I guess, across the wreck, for lack of a better term. Was able to, see the bottom as I get close to the hull, bring the camera up so it wouldn't get hung up quite as often. It still got hung up plenty. So got some really good good footage of the inside, I guess, of the boat, and of some of the area around her, some of the debris field. Gonna go back the next couple days and shoot stills with the GoPro, and a friend of mine who has actual Photoshop skills is gonna try to put together a photo mosaic for me. So at that point, I might finally see what the whole thing looks like. It's been a little odd working with a wreck that you can only see 3 feet at a time because the water's so murky, and I'm starting to get a pretty good idea of what I'm looking at and how the parts are put together, but it's still, it's still a challenge, and that's not something I'm used to working with surface wrecks. I think, we don't know for sure yet, but I think we have a name for her. The same friend who told me about her in the first place told me the story as far as he knows it. Believe that she's called the Charlotte, and she was sitting there at the dock when he moved to Washington in 1974. As the story goes, there was a big storm on Halloween night 1975, and when he came by on his way to work the next day, the boat was gone. The next day, or shortly thereafter, when he came by, there was inflated truck tires and various pieces of debris all over the lake. Apparently, an attempt had been made to salvage her by shoving truck inner tubes under the deck and inflating them, which just caused the deck to explode and blew the deck and superstructure all over everywhere. He believes that the steam engine and most of the rest of the parts were salvaged, which I haven't seen anything larger than about yay big, except for the rudder. So that's probably the case. Did see some interesting things on the video today, though. There's a big metal box. As much as I'd like to believe it's a treasure chest, it's probably something more like an oil tank. But that bears further examination. And if you remember from the first time I was out there, I saw what I thought might be a valve. I think what that actually was the shaft coupling. There's a fitting where the propeller shaft comes out of the engine and hooks to the propeller itself, where it goes through the hull, which is known as the shaft packing or shaft gland. And I think what I'm seeing is that fitting. Again, it was rough out there today. It was like a foot of chop, and I'm trying to hold the cable with one hand and hold the screen with the other and watch it and stay upright as I'm being pushed sideways at a pretty good clip by the waves. Didn't lend itself to precise maneuvering, or really any maneuvering at all. It was more like pick a spot, float downstream, pull the camera up a little bit, go back out, pick another spot, float downstream, repeat until either I get bored or get convinced I'm going to lose something. So all in all, pretty successful trip today. Looking forward to getting the photo mosaic, and hopefully my friend can put that together and we'll have a better idea. Somewhere after Memorial Day, we're planning to take the pontoon boat out and do kind of more of an in-depth survey of the wreck. Probably be like a 2 or 3 hour process of not only photographing it but measuring it. Still working the bugs out. I think we're going to set up a 3-point anchor and use that to precisely locate things on the bottom that we can't see. But that's in the future. So until then, we'll see you around.